Hey, Webb here again. Now this time I believe the person who I'm going to be talking about is someone that I don't feel gets either enough credit or enough stick in the music industry. As he's a guy who is arguably one of the most phenomenal businessmen in the world of music, and by all accounts actually seems like quite a nice guy who's done a lot for the community he originally came from, plus others. But the music he writes is just so damn boring. It's genuinely upsetting to me. It's The person I'm talking about is Will.I.Am. Now, to go on to the positives first, as I said, he seems like an incredibly astute, intelligent businessman who's able to sniff out good opportunities wherever he can find them and make the most of them to make a lot of money for himself or for himself or whoever he's working with. I can respect him for that. I honestly can. I mean, and also, it's just a scene from like other interviews, not just, for example, when he turned up on the British version of Top Gear, or some other interviews I've watched. He just seems, and even actually watching The Voice, that show he's doing with Kylie Minogue and Tom Jones or whoever else it is. I think it's the guy from the Kaiser Chiefs, but that's not it. But that's besides the point. On the whole, he just seems to be quite a nice guy. A guy that you could quite easily get along with, away from the whole business of being in music business. If you just want to go for a pint with him or something, or go to a club or drink with him wherever he goes to drink, that's if he drinks at all. I don't know if he does or he doesn't. He seems like quite a nice guy to go out for a pint with. I would quite happily go out for a pint with the guy, as long as he didn't get onto a subject of his music. Unfortunately, this is where I'll start to get a tad less positive about what he does. He's he started, as you all well know, with the Black Eyed Peas, which their first album, not too bad. Whereas a lot of decent track. Shut Up, I believe, is the second single. Fantastic little song. Great, nice little chorusy stuff. So my hair's a fucking mess today. So that's all well and good. And then going on, they got steadily worse, which, while upsetting, can happen to a pop act. I guess that's what happens when you get stale and you don't really change your style, which, to be frank, they didn't. Until they started going down the much more electronic route. That's when I feel things started to go downhill in terms of Will.I.Am. His songs look like Boom Boom Power, catchy as all hell. Great fun when it turns up in a pub jukebox when you're a bit pissed, or even better when you're in a nightclub and you're even more drunk. Then it's fine. But if you look at it as an actual piece of music, in my opinion, it's absolutely terrible. It has next to no redeeming features for me. The lyrics are stupid. Why you want to step on leprechauns is beyond me. Also, the beats monotonous and the electronics are annoying. Over the top. They're just over the top as far as I'm concerned. The big thing, however, with me is that from there the Black Eyed Peas were going through songs that were basically around the same lines as that, production and musicality wise. And the lyrics were just getting more and more kind of asinine and boring and lacking any feel or meaning whatsoever. Now, the Black Eyed Peas aren't doing very much. That's not the. Will.I.Am has now become this big kind of solo artist, superstar collaborator kind of person. And, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. He's not much of a vocalist, so I just have to tie up my headphones. He's not much of a pure singer, but he can rap a bit, so if he do something that combine the two, he can get people who are arguably famous in his to collaborate with him on songs. Like, for example, recently he's done songs with Britney Spears, Justin Bieber. Did one song with 3 other people, 2 of which being Wiz Khalifa and Miley Cyrus. The other one I don't really know. So again, that makes good sense business-wise. He's doing something that he's virtually going to guarantee him to make a lot of money. The problem is the quality of the songs. I see all of them have the odd nice bit. I mean, the one I did with Justin Bieber actually has even even with Justin Bieber singing, it's got a lovely it's a lovely little chorus. So it's very memorable. Probably the only pretty good thing about that song. The Britney song, the Britney song, Britney feature is very easy to make a very amusing cover version of. I went to a gig a few months back and a kind of hardcore punk band did it. It was hilarious. Um, ugh. But this latest one, quite frankly, the whole song is here's my problem with Will.I.Am as a personality in the music industry. It's entirely unimaginative, dreadful, flat production style. It sounds like there's next to nothing going on. There's a 5-note bass line, and I think that's it. It's only, yeah, I think it's only 5 notes to the whole song. The bass line repeating throughout. A song with far too many. A song with at least, from what I could work out, something like 5 verses, where it doesn't need them. It doesn't need that. And the music idea isn't even good enough to warrant being looped at all. It's generic and boring. The lyrics are flat and they're all like, about, oh, I'm in the club and I buy, and I do nice bigger than everyone else because I'm the big shot. Oh. Which pisses me off more than any other type of lyric, quite frankly. And I say the big problem with Will.I.Am, and that song is the foremost example of that, is that that's all he does anymore. I don't mean to sound like I'm being angry. I'm not angry. I don't mean to be angry. I'm just frustrated of a man that, as a man, seems thoroughly decent. Honestly, thoroughly decent. Decent. And from the very little I've seen of his time on The Voice in the UK, knows his way around the industry. Knows what songs people should sing to make the best out of their voice. It's just he's just coming across now himself as a complete talentless hack who just churns out these flat, almost monotone style pop tracks with no. And it's not the fact they're pop tracks, no. And I don't want you to. And I don't want to give you people the impression that I'm just saying pop tracks can only be rubbish. Of course they can't. There are some cracking pop tunes all over the shop from the past, from the present, I'm sure in the future as well. There are some good songs in the kind of the pop music genre. But he is, I'd argue, much more part of the problem with the problem with a style of music that's fallen arguably flatter than ever recently. He's much more part of that problem and the cause than the solution to it. So yeah, that's Will.I.Am. Great businessman, seemingly a nice bloke, a good manager, I would suspect, but a crappy musician at the end of the day. Alright, thanks for listening. Bye.